Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 146 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and get into all kinds of other crafting shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. It is Saturday, January 28th, 2023. Where did January go? It was just New Year's a couple days ago, it feels like. And January's almost gone. Anyway, I'm so happy to have everyone here with me today. If you're a new viewer, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out what I have to natter about. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back for another week to see what I've been up to since you last saw me. I'm so happy to have everyone here with me. It just warms my little heart. So, it's been a fairly busy and productive week. I have managed to get a goodly amount of knitting done on 3 of my four whips. I'm finding that maybe 3 whips is, 2 or 3 is probably optimal for me. 4 is too many. One of my poor projects has been ignored this past week. Spoiler alert, it's my Rachel top. I haven't touched that at all this week. Once I get a couple of these other whips done, I'll be able to focus on that more. But I'm also have plans to cast on something new on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. So anyway, I have had a productive week knitting. And I've had a productive week work-wise in general, but I've had a goodly amount of time where I've been able to put in a little bit of work here and there on some of my whips. So, first one I have are my Advent calendar, Advent leftover sort of shorty toe-up socks. That's a mouthful. Anyway, I don't have a specific pattern for this. It's just a basic toe-up pattern. And what I decided to do with this one is I started toe-up. So I used bare yarn for the toes. And then with the Advent calendar I got this year, it was a 24-day plus a full skein Advent calendar from Orlando Fiber Arts. And I put each of the mini skeins have been going into my Anthology throw, which I'll show you in just a couple minutes. And I would do as many rounds as I could with each day. And then I took the last little bit, the leftover, and divided up that little bit into 2 and added it to my socks. So after I finished knitting day 1 on the Anthology throw, I added the last little bit of color 1, day 1's yarn, and then 2, 3, and so on. I did a gusset increase on the foot, and then a basic heel turn, and a basic slip 1, knit 1, slip stitch heel flap, and then continued around using the remaining colors. I am up to where I have added in color number 19, so I'm getting closer to the end. I think I'll do 20 of the colors on here, and then I will use the last 4 days colors to do some, probably, I don't know if I'll do a 1x1 or a 2x2 ribbing on the rest of the top of the sock. And they might not be as short as I typically like my sort of shorties, but that's fine. So, since I saw you last time, or the last time I showed you this, I was down here I was about midway through this bright blue color. So, since then I have added the blue, then this color, and this last couple. So, I've done a fair bit of progress on them, and I'm happy with my progress on these. So those are my Advent leftovers, sort of shorty toe-up socks. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to be able to wear those. I can't wait until they're done. Speaking of my Advent knitting, I am still slowly working on my Anthology throw. Now this is a pattern by Helen Stewart. It's getting big. It's a circular pattern, as any of you who have seen the pattern are aware. Since I saw you last week, I have added from the marker upwards. So I was midway through this color here. So I've added 17, 18, and 19, these colors. And I'm just starting to add day number 20 on here. So I've made a goodly amount of progress on that. And I am thoroughly enjoying working on this project. It is a super nice, relaxing, enjoyable knit. And as I say, I will continue with day 20 until I don't have enough yarn to go all the way around one more time. And then I will snip the yarn at that point, and I will take that bright purpley color and I'll add it to my socks. What's the little bit that's left, I will add it to my socks. And then I'll go on to color 21 on the Anthology throw. So another project, I'm really enjoying working on that one. The other project that has seen the most attention this past week are my Instant Crush socks. So these are the Sock Madness 17 warm-up number 1 pattern. I didn't finish them during the, I think it was a 10-day window that they gave us to finish them. There was no pressure on meeting that particular deadline on this particular sock or this particular pattern. It was more set up to give people who are not used to doing Sock Madness, to give them an idea whether they could finish a pair of socks in the amount of time that they were given. Usually a 10-day to a 2-week window. Oh, it's not a motorcycle, that's a loud car. It's a gorgeous old muscle car kind of thing. It was a really nice looking car. No idea what it was, but nice looking car. Anyway, Instant Crush. This is a pattern by Anna Zhuravleva. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. My pronunciation of a lot of names leaves a lot to be desired. So anyway, I'm holding them kind of awkwardly because I am in the middle of a row. Not the best place to stop, but I wanted to get the filming done and I didn't have time to finish that up. Anyway, since I saw you last week, I have done a lot of knitting on these. I was just back here. I had finished the toes and I think I had done maybe 2 rounds on the foot pattern. Since then, I have completed the foot pattern. I have completed the gusset increasing. And on one sock, I have done the heel turn. And I'll be ready, since I'm doing them 2 at a time, magic loop. I finished the first heel turn. And I'm ready to go back in the round and get going on to the leg and the cuff portion. The second sock, I am about a third to halfway through the heel turn. So I just got a little bit of that done. So I have made really good progress on this, and I'm really, really happy with how they're coming along. I've focused a lot of my attention on working on these socks this past week. Here's a little bit of an idea what the pattern looks like. Just wearing it like a sock puppet. I'm making the size medium, which is a 64 stitch pattern. And this is the pattern going up the foot. Once we get to the leg, it's going to switch over and it's more of a leafy pattern on the leg. But it's a really pretty pattern. And it's kind of really neat. You'll see, I'm hoping to have these done by the time I see you next week. I really do want to have them done. I only have the leg to do. The leg is probably less work than the foot was, because it's not a long leg on these socks, which I like. So I'm going to hopefully get these done this week and have the leg and the cuff finished. So the yarn I'm using for these, I haven't talked about this yet. This is one of my own hand-dyed yarns. You might have seen it hanging out back here for months and months. And I dyed this quite a long time ago. It's just kind of a variegated yarn. It's doing like a little spirally thing. I'll be curious to see if it continues to spiral once the heels are done. We shall see. But I, for one, I don't mind in socks. I don't mind the pooling, spiraling, flashing of colors. I don't mind that at all. At all. It doesn't bother me one drop. I kind of think they're kind of neat. I like them. So those are the 3 whips that I spent pretty much all of my spare time on this week. As I said, I did not touch my Rachel top. I just focused on these 3. Basically focused on the 2. I worked on the Instant Crush socks and on my Anthology throw, and then whenever I finished one of the Advent days on my Anthology throw, I took the last little bit and I picked up the socks and added that day into the socks. So that's my progress this week. I'm happy with the amount of knitting I did. I think it was quite a bit. I did manage to get quite a bit done on those 3 projects. So my plan is I'm hoping to finish my Instant Crush socks this week and have them done. So that'll be finished. And then I plan on putting all of my energy in my almost all of my energy in my knitting onto my Anthology throw. Because I really do want to get that finished. I think I'm at almost 70% complete now, so I'm getting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm getting a lot closer to being done. So I will see how far the 24 days in my Advent calendar take me. It's not going to bring me to the very end of my Anthology throw, so I probably will have to use, I'm hoping I can get away with using almost half of the full day of the Advent calendar in that, to do the last part of the shawl or throw, wrap, whatever it is, but we'll see. I'll cross that bridge once I get there, but that's what I'm hoping. So in the next week, I will finish Instant Crush. I will put the rest of my energy into, almost all of the rest of my energy into working on the Anthology throw and my Sorta Shorty Advent leftover socks. The one thing I do think, I'm 99% sure I will cast on a new project. I'll probably start it on Tuesday. I think that'll work out well. Monday or Tuesday, I will cast on the toes, and I'm going to get ready to, oh wow, I'm real tangled up there. I'm going to move on and cast on my February socks. So I have my 12 Days of Christmas Advent calendar, again another one from Orlando Fiber Arts, and in this one they are 12 50-gram skeins of yarn. These are my January socks that I showed you last week. So what I want to do is I want to cast on the toes for my February socks, and then when I get up in the morning on February 1st, I'm going to open day 2 in my 12-day Advent calendar, and then I'll be ready to add that and begin knitting with that on my the toes that I will cast on, or that I will have done Monday or Tuesday. I'd like to have the toes done ahead of time. I might leave it till Wednesday. Maybe I will leave it till Wednesday, because then I'll be able to see whether the yarn is something I want to have a white toe and heel, or if I want to do a darker color. If the yarn is a variegated or a speckled yarn and it's on the lighter side, I'm not sure I want to do a bare toe, heel, and cuff, or just a teeny bit on the cuff. Maybe I will leave that. I'm planning this out right before your eyes. So I think maybe, but that's what I will do. I will leave the February socks until February 1st in the morning. I will open my Advent day 2 and see what the yarn looks like, and then decide whether I want white toes or if I will use a darker color for the toes. Do I have a darker color? Do I have enough yarn for a darker toe? That might be my problem. I might have to dye a skein of bare yarn that I have. Maybe I'll do that. Ooh, I got things to think about. Anyway, so that's my plans for the upcoming week. Aside from work stuff, which is first priority, I plan on finishing my Instant Crush socks, starting my February socks, and continuing to work on my Anthology throw and the Advent leftover socks. So I will be back up to 4 whips. Hopefully Instant Crush will be done before the 1st of February. Let's cross our fingers that that's what happens. If it's finished before then I'm set. I can, I'll still have the same number of whips. And then once I'm done with the Anthology throw and my Advent leftover socks, then I will switch back to working on my Rachel top, and that'll be my focus, and to get that done. And aside from Sock Madness patterns, I really am going to try not to cast on anything new until the Rachel top is done. I'm so tempted. I keep seeing patterns and people posting pictures of things they've made, and I'm thinking, I want that, I want to knit that. I have to show some strength and restraint. It's tough. It really is tough. But anyway, so this is a little bit of a shorter episode today. It's been a quiet week. I've just been alternating between doing work stuff and taking some knitting breaks. So next week will be the same. I'll focus on work stuff, making sure all that's kept up with. My grading, since we're starting into week 4 already. How is it possible we'll be starting into week 4 on Monday? Crazy. Anyway, I think it's about time to let you go. I will be back in a week and hopefully have another pair of finished socks to show you, and a new pair of socks that I cast on. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you guys again in a week. Bye.